The ugly duckling. Look, he's got an eggshell on his head. So funny. One bright sunny morning, in a corner of an old farmyard, a mother duck watched proudly as her ducklings hatched from their egg. The 5 new ducklings were tiny and covered with soft yellow feathers. Okay, now you can count them, John. How many?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Good job.
Yay.
But the mother duck was puzzled because one egg did not hatch. This egg was much larger than the others. Maybe it's a dinosaur. No. An old duck came waddling down the path and stopped to admire the new ducklings. "What's wrong with that egg?" the old duck asked. "I don't know," the mother duck replied, "but for some reason it won't hatch." The old duck looked carefully at the egg. "Well, that's a turkey egg," she said. "Leave it alone and go teach your new babies how to swim." You think it's a turkey, Anna?
No. I do.
"No," said the mother duck. I'll taken care of this egg for this long. I will stay with it until the duckling hatches." So the mother duck continued to sit until the large egg began to wobble and crack. Finally, out came an unusual-looking baby bird. He was covered with rough gray feathers, and he was much bigger than the other ducklings. His feet were large and clumsy, and his neck was long and skinny.
Is he a skinny duck?
He's a skinny duck, yeah. The other birds in the farmyard saw him. They began to squawk. "What an ugly duckling!" honked the geese. "A very strange duck indeed," clucked the hens. Even the turkeys laughed at the new baby. Oh, that's terrible. They're all laughing at him.
They're bad.
They're bad. The poor duckling really felt ugly. He made his way to the nearby lake to hide in the tall grass, and he stayed hidden all summer long. So terrible. He's so sad. One night, when the moon was shining brightly on the lake, the lonely duckling saw winged creatures gliding through the sky. 3 magnificent swans cast graceful shadows as they flew through the night. The duckling stood still to admire them. Oh, how he longed to fly. He wanted to fly. When the winter came to the lake, the duckling grew cold, and he had trouble finding food to eat. One morning, the duckling slipped on the ice of the frozen lake. A kind farmer found him lying helpless and scared on the ice. The farmer wrapped him in his coat and carried him back to the nice, warm barn. The duckling stayed in the barn, and the farmer took care of him for the rest of the long, harsh winter.
Yay.
Spring finally arrived, and the farmer led the duckling out the barn. The duckling had grown. Feeling stronger than ever before, he flapped his wings gently in the warm light of the sun. To his surprise, he flew right off the ground into the sky.
Is he a goose now?
He's not a goose, no.
What is he?
He landed near some reeds at the edge of a peaceful pond. He could hear children playing nearby on the bank, and once again he saw the lovely swans, the most beautiful bird ever. This time they were drifting through the water. Afraid that they might laugh at him, the ugly duckling lowered his head in shame. As he looked down at the reflection in the still waters, he saw another swan that was just as splendid as the others. What is that, Anna? Is that another swan?
It's his.
It's him. After a moment, he realized he was staring at his own reflection. He was amazed at how beautiful he'd become. He was not an ugly duckling. In fact, he had never been a duckling at all, but a swan in the making. He glided into the and joined the other swans. When the children saw him... 3. Thank you, John.
3.
When the children saw him, they began to shout, "Look at the new swan! He is the most splendid of them all!" He was no longer an ugly duckling, but a graceful and beautiful swan. With this proud thought, his heart almost burst with happiness and joy. Nice.